Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female.
Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the tradcon versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence. When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your ex, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail.
Right.
Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends, no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide, and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K,
300K,
300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it.
When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you said for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline, and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis failing young men.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. If you guys want, that was the trailer for my divorce documentary. As you guys know, I attempted to make a divorce documentary last year before I was demonetized, kicked off of like 7 TikTok accounts, 8 Instagrams. It never ends. These women, they get so mad at me. Do you know what? It's like they're just an army, okay? They're like, oh my goodness. You know, my co-host, Doug MPA, he always says, he'll always say to me, you know, I got respect for you because you at least put your face out there. And guys, it's like, you guys don't know what it's like being a YouTuber. Every woman you meet is a liability. Maybe this is how it's probably how you guys think when you date women, but it's like, if I meet a woman day to day, it's like, this is a liability who might make a hit piece on me later, try to ruin my reputation, blah. It never ends. Anyways, point is this. So they really don't want this documentary to come out, and they've done a pretty good job slowing it down. But lucky for us, you guys have gotten us, you know, kickstarted. We've raised $32,550 for this. And I want to say a special thank you. I'm just going to say first names for being anonymous here on the GoFundMe when I announce the donations. Just in case, I know sometimes it's just automatically linked. We had a $500 donation yesterday from CJ. Thank you so much. And $50 from Josh, putting us at $32,550. Guys, once we get to 100K, I'm going to hire a team. I've gotten quotes. I've gotten, if we got to $1 million, I could actually hire oh my God, it's insane. This, the same team that made What Is a Woman? But I mean, that's like a ton of money. So we could do it with less. We just got to get to 100K. So anyways, so today we're talking about my favorite topic, and there's just a special place in my heart for kicking these tradcon women butts. All right. And the reason is, I want you to understand a little bit about my background. I realize I have a lot of new viewers these days, and I did 12 years of Catholic school, okay? And I attended Catholic Mass, I would say till my early 20s. And I grew up a lot around these tradcon women. And I think I need to be the tradcon destroyer. And there's just a point in my life where I could not I knew something was off or something pissed me off about these tradcon women. But I never could I could never articulate what. And I never understood why I got along better with liberal women rather than these, a lot of times, stuck up bitches, right? I just couldn't get it. I'm like, why do I get along with these women that I have nothing on paper in common with? Like, they believe in basically killing their kids up to birth. I think it's wrong. But it just wouldn't make sense to me. And I realized it's because the conservative women, liberal women, they believe in really messed up stuff. So what I found with liberal women is I'm going to divide it into two halves. There's the halves that are crazy and believe in crazy ideas. And then there's the other liberal woman who believes in silly things, but she's a nice person. And I always got along with those women where they're pretty fun, but they just believed in silly, stupid things. Where the conservative women, they just tend to be conservative for their, because they're not fun and have no personality. And it's just a virtue signal. And when I see these commentators using it, and look, I'm not the most religious person in the world. I've been upfront about that. But when I see commentators grifting the religion I grew up with, the religion that my family is, that pretty much everyone around me growing up is, I just think there's a special place in hell for these women that convert and then start lecturing me. And it's so annoying because, and I'm just going to rant, I just got to do this. I cannot stand women that lecture me on Catholicism when, if you took the early part of my life, I practiced more than you do. You might be practicing right now, okay? But imagine you're LeBron James, and I'm not saying I'm the same thing, but just for the analogy, and you put up 100 points, or I'll say 10,000 points over 5 years. And then somebody comes in on year one and they've put in 1,000 points. And then they start telling you how to play basketball. And you're like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like, that's how you feel. You know what I mean? So, that's my feel. Like, if anything, I would say to steer clear of the churches or any woman with the Bible verse in her bio, I would just block her at this point. When sex box and artificial wombs go mainstream, women are done. I don't think so. Unfortunately, that's a dream I hear. But in my opinion, men are just, I've seen too much. Okay. And that's my problem is, and I was in a space the other day, which, by the way, I'm locked out of my Twitter right now. So if you guys bought the Bitcoin they tweeted, it's survival of the fittest out here, really, truly. I can't even feel that bad because, if I didn't announce it, like out of my mouth, if I was going to launch a Bitcoin, it wouldn't be through a tweet. So if someone bought that, some people in life I just think are meant to lose money. But anyway, so the issue I have is that I've seen a lot. So, I know a lot of these guys personally on these podcasts. And I would say it's not really the big YouTubers that I'm talking about, but please don't go around saying Pearl said this about that YouTuber. You're not going to know who I'm talking about, okay? But I would hear certain YouTubers or influencers, whatever, say like, oh, I won't date this, and that. And then date exactly this or that, and want to marry these women. I mean, you hear it all the time. Like these guys say, men don't want to date that, and they don't. But men do settle, right? Men do want the 22-year-old hotties, but if the 22-year-old hotties are too hard to get, too difficult to deal with, they'll just take. It's like men want a Ferrari, but they'll deal with the Honda Civic. You know what I mean? They're like, the Honda, yeah, it's got some miles on it, but it's going to keep running for life. Okay, so today we're talking about nagging. So welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. Women nag men. Now, it's a grim reality for most men in marriages and relationships. Women really feel entitled to having things their way, and the man they are with really has to comply or pay severe consequences. So it's funny how women say they are better at communicating, but don't know how to communicate with their husbands or boyfriends without nagging. It's also funny that women call men all sorts of things. They call men controlling, abusive, emotionally detached, but it's really projection. To be honest, women are all of those things, but regardless, you never hear a woman call a man a nag, and men just don't nag women. Do you know what I mean? It's like men know that their opinion doesn't matter and that people have traits that you don't like, right? And they will put up with traits they don't like because they know they are not perfect either. That's why they don't really go around trash talking their ex-boy or their ex-girlfriends, partially because they're kind of scared of them, but also because their ex-girlfriends, they know they're not without fault either, and they don't really want to go back and forth. But, the fastest way I've witnessed women lose their husband's attraction and romance in a marriage is, besides being a whore and catching an STD, having another man's kid, outside of that is to nag him to death. And I would go so far that nagging is so annoying that men would actually take a child before they take a nagging woman. They would take care. I would go so far. I have never seen a man more beaten down than a man that's just every day the woman's telling him what's wrong with him. And to be fair, there probably is something wrong with him. I mean, there's something wrong with everybody. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. I mean, I got to be a little bit messed up to do this job, if I'm being honest, guys. Do you know what I mean? I can't be like, who wants to talk for 3 hours? Who wants to, so like I'm under no, but a lot of the times women, they never have this thought cross their mind ever in their entire life. It's like, It's amazing. It's truly amazing. And modern women, they can't help it. They just focus on, the man can have 10 awesome traits, but they'll focus on the one trait they don't like. And we see this nagging culture throughout American culture. Now, I came up with a couple points about the modern woman nag, okay? Women feel entitled to giving their opinion. Men don't. Men know their opinion doesn't matter in the long run, but accomplishment and actions do. So this is why you always see women nagging about the restaurant or whatever. This is why you see them do it. Because they'll bitch, they'll moan, where the men are just, they say good enough. You know, they'll focus on the one dish they did like. You can also tell how emasculated the man is by how little the wife knows about men and how she treats him in public. So, like sometimes, I'll give you an example. The other day I met this woman who was telling me about her life on the dating market and how she is a divorced mother of 4, right? And she was telling me about how she just can't help but give her opinion about stuff, right? And I was telling her, I'm like, look, one thing I've learned in relationships, and, at times I've fumbled in my life, is that, it might be cute for you guys to listen to me for 3 hours, but in my personal life, shockingly, people don't want to listen to me for 3 hours straight. They don't, and it's something I've had to work on, draw back, and I was telling her, if you have an opinion, it's better. I know it's hypocritical doing what I do, but men, they really don't want to hear it, and it's something that, like, at least in your personal life, like, for some reason, you guys like listening to me. I don't know why, but my point is this. I couldn't believe how a woman in her 40s and 50s had never thought about that the men she's dating and her ex-husband didn't want to hear her opinion. I couldn't believe it. I was like, she's like, oh, I can't help it. I always just want to tell him. And I'm like, well, die alone. And I'm like, look, some of these lessons I had to learn too. I try to, in my early content, I understand sometimes how it sounds when I say I'll say, women, we do that. And I would always try to say, especially my early content, we. But for some, just to know that I'm still a woman too. I still got the chaos in me. But for some reason in my early content, people just never got that. I don't know. But these women, do you know what they would do? They would come on my show where, women are supposed to argue about this stuff. And then they would get so mad. It was like, they would come on my show and then get mad when I did my job. And I'm like, why are you here? What was the purpose? So anyways, Solveria says, my girlfriend tried to put emotional baggage on me. I told her obedience is a must to stay with me, and I don't want her acting the same way my wife does. Well, wife cut off the sex and turned on the nag after year 4. Anyone else out there? Yeah, because did you have a kid? She probably got what she wanted. You guys would be better off dumping these broads, and I just want you to know. And I want to give you a different perspective because I've just seen this. You guys, by not dumping these nagging wives, you teach your daughters that it's okay to do the same thing and that men will put up with it. But I know what everyone says. They're like, they need like the dads in their life. And, then I lose everything. I don't know. I mean, look, do what you want. So don't let me make a choice for you. But I think it's better to have no dad than a demasculated dad. Save your money for the kids, if you can, in the divorce, and just leave it. You did what you could. The kids belong to the women. I'd just cut it. Now you guys are saying, now we're simping in the chat. Slander of Candace won't be accepted. Oh, you can even call in and tell me what slander. What did I say that was slander? So anyways, I'll continue. All right, so a common tell is by women, by how little they know about men, is they often use, what they'll do is they'll use their marriage as a way to virtue signal. So what they'll say is, I'm married, therefore I know more. But their actions show really differently. And women go through marriage and often learn absolutely nothing about men. Know nothing. They don't care enough about their husbands to pay attention. So this idea that women that are married are somehow superior, I mean, there's a reason that men say girlfriends are better than wives, right? Because girlfriends have the burden of performance. They're forced to pay attention. Married women, especially married women with kids, if anything, I'd say they know the least because they have no burden of performance. None. So the next point is women have a laundry list of complaints about a man, but none about themselves. They can't do any type of introspection. You know, none. It's like even suggesting they're not perfect, it sends them into a crash out. It's so exhausting. I don't know how you guys do it. Women don't even realize how much they nag. Many couples' normalcy is the woman's nagging the man constantly. Modern women, both liberal and conservative, have never been told to shut the fuck up and never been told no, so they take offense immediately. And the same pathology, conservative women have the same pathology as liberal women. And Candace Owens, I'm going to show you the clip. She virtue signals in response to a masculine behavior. And I can't stand it. I can't stand when women do this. I have met Candace, and to be honest, I was a little starstruck when I met her. It was really weird. It's kind of weird when you meet someone in person that you've seen on TV for years. And I gave her I can't say that. I gave her a certain t-shirt. And to be fair, I want to be clear. I do not hate Candace Owens. I do not think she is even a bad person. But I don't think you have to think I'm stupid to believe she is a conservative Catholic wife and mother. You have to think I'm an idiot. And that's what I don't like, that signaling. I don't like the lying, right? And that's what's always sold to me. I don't really like that she's now putting a Catholic cross in the background and using the religion I grew up with. Now, even maybe I'm not the most religious person in the world, but do you know what I mean? There's still a sense of like, hey, that's a bit disrespectful. Could you grift on, like, the equivalent of that would be, I worked a sales job, and imagine I just put all my, I make my sales cubicle a prayer station. You would be like, what's wrong with you? You're just doing that for clout. But we never question it when these influencers do it. Look, and there's things I think Candace Owens did great, okay? There's things I think she did awesome, but you can't be in, I bet you if I came on, I doubt we'd ever collab again, because it was like a pay, it was like we both got paid to be there, anyway. But if you're in this industry, put on your, you got to put on your big girl pants. Everybody, if you can't handle criticism, then you got to get out of the industry. Now, anyways. All right. So the other thing I don't understand about a lot of these conservative Christian women is politics and your children's safety is important. So they always signal that family is more important than a job, but women will accept money for safety or make sure things are safe before there's any kind of real risk. But when they finally take the risk, they take too much credit and give an embellished version of the story to make it sound harder than it actually was. So in her case, she's getting death threats over the J stuff. I'm going to just say the J. What should we say on the channel to signal? Because I'm not going down that rabbit hole today. If you're a mother and your kid's safety is first, I don't really understand why you wouldn't put it down and let the men do it. Do you know what I mean? Conservative women have no idea how much they nag on a daily basis. Conservative women use their families and their children as a way to show how moral they are and bolster their public persona. They have no idea how unfair it is to the kids to have to be the fuel for the machine that is her public persona. So you see that. It's like, one thing I appreciated about Tucker Carlson, he does have the occasional picture with his family. But nobody thinks of Tucker Carlson's kids. They think of Tucker Carlson. He never brought his kids to his brand or work. I mean, I'm not against an occasional picture once a year or something, but when you start to every argument, it's like, I had kids, you didn't. I thought your behavior was supposed to be the best thing about you. I should be able to tell if you're so morally superior. Now, modern women try to control speech and tone through shame, guilt, insult, and need to be right. The JQ is the YouTube-approved acronym. Okay, I'll say JQ. So what made me think of this topic was a recent interview that Candace Owens had with, I'm going to say NF, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today. And I just couldn't, my blood was boiling because I could not believe that a married woman was nagging this much. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. And this is a conservative religious woman nagging a man and disrespecting, right? And that's what modern conservative women do, especially the ones in the media. They're really worse than liberal women. All right, so we're gonna talk about. All right, let me pull up this clip. Now, I want to say, Candace Owens, if I get copyrighted for this, I was told by Candace on Twitter, right? Let me find this. That we are able to react to clips. That's what it says on her Twitter. Her Twitter says you cannot react to the full interview, but you can react to clips. If I get copyright written after this, I'm not going to be able to take it. I can't take the nagging. Another point to make is Candace Owens' husband is worth $150 million. So there's no reason for her to be out here and putting her kids' safety at risk. There's no reason for her not to be home with her kids. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying she shouldn't do what she does. She seems to really love it. But all I'm saying is she is not doing what she is selling. And so I saw a tweet. I'm actually going to pull it up on my phone. I just saw this. I just thought it was such a good tweet, and it reminded me of her. It says, tradwife influencers are business women selling a lifestyle, families, and marriage they don't possess. And that's how I would describe it. All right, where are we going? All right, 155 is where we're starting on this. All right, let me pull this up.
I do.
I mean, do I want the smoke? Not really. I mean, she scares me a little bit. The thing is, women like her, and I don't know if she's like this or not, I don't know her personally, but they tend to weaponize their audience in disagreements. They tend to make everything private public. They don't really see the need for discretion. And then they have a lot of money. So yeah, women like her, I mean, honestly, they scare me a little bit. They do. And you might think, well, let me take off the sweater. It's getting warm in here. Why would you be scared of her? Well, women can do a lot with $150 million. You can get dragged to court. You can get, if anything, you guys should be thanking. I better get a super chat today for this one because I never know what these women are going to do. I never do. All right, so 155. All right. So this is where she starts nagging him and then gets triggered.
To me at all, it's almost as if we're not related. It's almost as if I never existed. And there's something very disturbing to me about that. And I can understand why people are okay with that, because people have various feelings about race. They say, I don't care about my race.
Hold on, I'm skipping that. All right, let's keep going. No, I hate it when it does this.
Why you're allowed to be you and I'm allowed to be me.
Mm-hmm.
A question that I would ask you then is what is your dating life?
I don't have a dating life.
So you don't date?
No.
Do you have a perspective about who you want to marry? Do you intend to get married?
I do. I do intend to get married and have kids.
So where are you at on that?
I'm trying to get prepared for that mentally.
What does that mean? You're 26 years old.
I like my life. I like being single. I like being a guy. I like what I like. I like reading books. I like doing my show. I'm a pretty antisocial person. And it's a big adjustment for a man to go from having a life where you can do whatever you want, go wherever you want, unaccountable, everything like that, to then you have to be roommates with women and children. It's a totally different lifestyle. And for someone like myself, I'm a pretty eccentric and kind of out there person. I don't have a regular sleep schedule. I'm awake all night. I'm asleep all day. And my sleep schedule's moving around all the time. I like to go out on drives all the time. The idea of my wife sending me out the door, okay, be home by 10, call me and tell me where you're going. Or, I go on a trip. I got to get the car seats and buy all the plane tickets and stuff like that. It's kind of cramping my style.
And this is something. Women are not competing with other women. They're competing with men's peace. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, and this is how a lot of Gen Z guys feel. It's not that a lot of them are sexless, right? A lot of them, it's not that they have another choice of a woman to date if someone comes in, but you're competing with silence. And women that don't understand men have no idea how much energy they spend, and they don't appreciate how much energy they spend just being around us and listening to our problems. They don't get it. They don't understand it. And there's no gratitude for it. And in fact, they tend to feel entitled for it, entitled to it.
So I'm trying to get over that, I guess, but that's maturing.
Yeah, I think you should probably mature on that point. I mean, what?
Yeah.
And this is so hypocritical, right? Because remember, Candace Owens, she had from 16 to 30. She had freedom to date whoever. She hasn't been doing the trad thing for that long, or the trad, right? And she's given up nothing. And women give up nothing to be in relationships. Nothing. She's given up nothing. She didn't move to her husband. Her husband moved to her. She didn't have to work for the commitment, right? And that's how you can tell the guy is in her frame, right? He's moving to her. She doesn't die back. In fact, it's actually crazy. When she got a family, she goes further into political stuff. It's like she said, now that I have kids, let me get more death threats. More death threats at my husband and children's expense.
You got to tell me. I know.
I want to go for drives. That would be something. I mean, if you are, do you attend the mass?
So, do you know what? Oh my God, I can't with these women. I can't do it. Now she's signaling, well, I attend mass, therefore I'm holier than you. Even though I've been conservative for 5 minutes, I've been Catholic for 5 minutes, and now I'm going to beat the Bible over your head. You don't understand. I'm getting triggered. I'm triggered. And it's because I grew up around women like this, and it was so exhausting. Oh my God. And they're all ex-hoes, all of them, 100% of them.
I do.
Do you go every Sunday?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so you're like a committed Catholic. Then obviously, the perspectives on family. I mean, I personally, and this would be me lecturing, but I just feel like you really have no idea who you are until you start a family. And whether that means just marriage, some people who are struggling to have children, okay, fine. But there's such a growth that happens because.
And so here it's the virtue signaling. I became a better person because of my family. Well, what? You should be a good person because you want to be a good person. What do your kids have to do with it? I wanted to say you're a beautiful woman, and I'm grateful you're courageously speaking the truth. I'm like a mid, okay? Can we just be honest here? Can we? Okay.
Of that I think it informs your beliefs in so many ways. And I think that was a huge turning point for me. Like, I wonder if I had been pressed with everything that happened last year, if I didn't have like the unshaken faith and my family.
You had $150 million, Candace. It's like everyone on this channel, Pearl, why don't you get the JQ? Why don't you do more JQ? Why don't you do more JQ? Number one, I don't want to be killed. Okay. I think both of them have had death threats. Yeah, let me put people I love in my life at risk for my selfish desires of curiosity. No, thank you. No, thank you. More upvotes in the chat. You can do it. Thank you, Florida man. Thank you. I know. And do you see, she asked him a personal question and he opened up to her. He said, look, I value my freedom. And then she immediately goes to, you're not moral. You're not moral.
What would I have done? And sometimes when I see the things that you say, I do think, okay, he doesn't take into account family. It's just Nick. Nick is in his own world, which can be, I think, a quite selfish perspective, which is fine. That's what you're saying. You like being selfish is another way to say what you just said. I like being selfish and I don't want to give of myself to somebody else. But
what she's doing is also selfish. And I don't always think that doing the selfish thing is the wrong thing. I don't. But it's just these women, where do they get off? Where do they get off lecturing men like this? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you've been married for so long and you think it's appropriate to talk to a guy that way. I don't get it.
I also think there's something selfless involved, which is to say, I could go and start a family and drag them into a world of mine, which is pretty chaotic. You know, I mean, is this really the kind of a lifestyle? If I'm banned on everything and I can't make a living, I'm banned from banking, I'm banned from credit card processing, I'm getting doxxed, people are showing up to my house trying to kill me, things like that. And what's more, I mean, let's also get, I also don't appreciate the lecture. You don't know me, so I know you're married. I know you're older than me, but you don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my situation. I don't think you're in a position to give me advice, especially as a woman, honestly. I don't think women, this is something in the right wing. We say we're anti-feminist, and then women go around telling men what to do who are not their husbands. And, I don't really buy into that ideologically, but that's besides the point. My life has been tumultuous from the very beginning. From the time I turned 18, people were coming for my neck and trying to get me, and I was kicked out of college. And then, once you're branded as an anti-Semite, before it became cool or popular, can't get a job, can't make a living, get banned from PayPal, all this kind of stuff. That's a very difficult environment to try to have a dating life. What do? I go out on Tinder, I go to a bar, and I say, hey, I'm a neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes that the ADL is writing articles about.
I could go in depth about how doing this type of content does kill your dating life. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, before I met my boyfriend, you're terrified, right? Because what happens is people do hit pieces on you. So when you've had a best friend, like me, I had a best friend of 20 years make a hit piece on me. It's a pretty shitty feeling, right? I had really close people like leaking things on the internet. You go out and someone says on TikTok, I saw Pearl, she did that, you know. I downloaded, when I met my boyfriend, I didn't meet him through Bumble, but I did have, I think it was Bumble. And it was on Twitter the day of. And you're dating it's like such an invasion of privacy. And it's like when you go into this, you think, and it really, for a while, I was like terrified because it really stressed me out. It really did. So I really understand where he's coming from because, if you say your opinions on this stuff, you think you're going into this and it's just like a debate and yada, yada, yada. But people are looking to like set you up. And I don't have it as a quarter as bad as Nick. I also know Nick gets a lot of female attention. I know he does. I saw the girls were into him when he came on the show. Do you know what I mean? I know he does. So it's not like he can't entertain that, but a guy like that is going to have so much to think about. And then he also, any woman that he has a kid with, has all this information. They're going to know him so well, and she can use that information to destroy him. And I've seen even good women, quote unquote, do that. The audacity of Candace Owens is amazing. But yeah, it was like Bumble. I had Bumble for like 2 days and they tweeted my profile. And I oh my God, it killed it. Like oh my God, at my peak fame, I couldn't do it. I was kind of a pussy. I was probably too scared too, but it was just a lot of stress. It was, cause these women will do anything to get you, you know what I mean? And even when I met my now boyfriend, you're terrified. You don't know if he's going to like run to the internet, or he wouldn't do that, right? But it's just a thought in your mind. You don't know what they're going to do. And so her like just lecturing him about, it's just so annoying. It's so like, and women they don't see a problem with this. They don't realize it's actually inappropriate to like say that.
Every day, I'm going to start a dating profile on Tinder. People are going to screenshot that, mess with me in all kinds of ways. It's a very difficult predicament, actually, for me, because I took on basically a huge sacrifice at the beginning. And I don't know that you really appreciate that enough. I think that you're somebody who, you had a career in politics for as long as I was fighting a battle. You were at Daily Wire with a contract. You're at Turning Point. You're making good money.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with OnlyFans. She took the money from the JQ and then after turns on it. It's mad convenient. It's so convenient. After you're rich and famous, now you do your own thing. And the other thing too that girls like her don't realize, they all made money and built their careers off of men. And it's such a sacrifice when I started my show. And you don't realize it at the time. But it's like, when I was recruiting the guests and getting the people, it's such a time suck. It's such oh my gosh. And it's like these girls, they don't understand how much the men are doing for them in the background so they can be famous. Anyways, and then they turn on them later. It's like the audacity.
You're doing book deals. You're part of this thing that I'm criticizing and paying a very heavy price for at a time when no one's saying those things, when it's very unpopular. And it's not to say that I'm a victim, because I did it willingly and I love it and I would do it again. But it is to say that, you and I have lived very different lives. And, it's easy, I think, for you to say you had your husband, have your kids, you got your ducks in a row, made quite a bit of money. Then you discovered the truth. And then you went out on a limb. And it's not to say you didn't make sacrifices and it wasn't a risk. And it paid off. You're doing great now. And I congratulate you. But with me, there was no calculation. I mean, I almost want to say I was 17. What's your excuse? I was 17 and I woke up and I went balls to the wall, bucket of ice cold water, as you say. I made a lot of enemies and maybe that wasn't wise, but I told the truth and I took on extremely heavy cost for my personal life. It basically has made it so that I can't have a personal life. I don't even have many friends. Forget about
Oh my God, I feel this so hard. It makes it so hard. Because every person you let in is a calculated risk. And the other thing too is people will, you might make an edgy joke in private with your friends or whatever, but you don't know. They'll say, oh, she said this, this, or this with no context to the conversation. Or they don't say what they said too. And you just never know who's going to crash. I mean, to be honest, guys, sometimes I think I got one or two girls I used to be friends with. I'm just and you constantly live in like, I don't want to say fear because it just is what it is. But I got one or two girls I was friends with in the past where I'm like, any day they're just going to crash out because they hate my content. And there's going to be another hit piece on the internet, and you just lose this sense of like privacy. And I've kind of gone down in fame the last year, and I've really enjoyed, I'm sorry I'm making this about me, but I just want to say how I relate to this experience. When I was at like the peak fame, it would be everywhere I go. Someone would recognize me, they'd want a picture. And it gives such pressure, because it's not like, I don't do drugs or anything crazy, but you just never know what somebody's going to like say you did, or I don't know. And you lose a sense of privacy in public. And I kind of want to stay at this level of, I hope I don't get more. I really enjoy the show. It's tough because you enjoy the show. I love doing this. It's so fun. But that's what I was telling Home Math. I'm like, stay anonymous forever, man. Anyways, long story. I'm rambling. I keep rambling. But it was really cool when it first happened. I was like, wow, that's so cool. But after a year, you're like, I want privacy back. And I can't imagine how it is for him. Like, what's he going to do? Go to bars and hang out? The shows are usually during social times anyway. Yeah. Any streamer will tell you better love it. There's no work-life balance. When feminists give advice to men, even covert feminists like Candace, that advice is never for men, but it always benefits women. Oh, that's a great point. That's a great point. It always benefits women, never men.
Dating women, I can't even really have a lot of male friends because there's such an incentive to betray me, to turn your back on me. Because there are people that are being paid to attack me all the time on Twitter or for information about me, things like that. So, it's something like everything else that I'm figuring out one step at a time, just like my show. And, when I get banned from something, whether or not I'll be able to have a family and kids and what that'll look like. But I mean, it's a little more complicated, I think, than maybe you understand.
I feel like you just got super triggered by me just saying something so casual. What was that about?
And that's gaslighting. That's women's favorite tool, gaslighting. Says something disrespectful, says something rude, the men respond, open up. Do you see that bullshit? That's bullshit. He just opened up to you and gave you a super honest answer. This is the thing. I liked Nick. He was so nice. I hate the way everybody treats him. It really bothers me. It really does, because he was one of the, he was so respectful to our staff and stuff. Like, look, people can see, that is women. You open up to them and then they get disrespectful back. It's just, I don't like that.
See, I don't appreciate
you're a woman.
that.
You're like, you're a woman. I mean, I was just having a conversation with you, just being like, hey, like you there's a lot of growth that comes from when you start a family. Like it's a pretty cool thing to do. And I feel like you got pretty triggered there and got like a little upset. I don't know what I did there.
I don't like that you say triggered.
But you were a little bit triggered.
I'm being candid with you.
And that's the thing. When women respond like this, they have a beta simp husband. They do. They do, because she has never been told no in her life. And it's tough. She's gone through life. Everybody's told her she's awesome all the time. Everybody, her whole life. Remember, she got famous for being a woman, basically, because she's not overly talented. She's not overly smart. She barely knew the stuff when she got famous. I'm not judging, right? I would say I got famous way too fast, too. I'm in a very similar, I would say I got way more famous to be a spokesperson. But the difference is I attempt to have a humility when it comes to this stuff. I don't really see that with Candace. I just don't. I don't see it. And it's really frustrating because when she has someone on that for the cause they're talking about, this is the OG of that cause. There's like him and one other guy. It's like, I don't know why she's treating him like he's her little brother instead of an authority.
Saying, a woman it's like, okay.
You're talking about my personal life. You're talking about my personal life.
Yeah, we're having a conversation. I talked to tons of people about their personal life.
Oh my God, this was the biggest gaslight I've ever seen.
Why do you feel like that wasn't a line of attack, Nick?
I know it wasn't a line of attack.
So why you kind of responded like you were just attacked?
Because you're giving me this lecture, giving me this advice about things and telling me, you don't know who you are and all this kind of stuff.
I said that when people start families, it does commute your perspectives a lot. And sometimes when I see these clips of you floating around or certain things that you do or say,
I'm selfish.
It does. Yeah, but you admitted you were selfish.
And I just don't really.
You said I don't want
to.
What are you talking about? You just said that the reason that you didn't want to have a family, when I asked the question or didn't start a family, you said was because I like to drive alone in my car. I don't really want to have to come home and have to deal with a room.
Do you see why men don't open up to women? I love my brothers, my boyfriends. There are things, brothers, boyfriends, sorry. There are things that they just get a pure joy out of, like joy. And it's sometimes it's like things that I may view as like I don't care about, right? Because they're not like feminine, they're not things that girls care about. Like anime or video games or but I love watching somebody when they get like a pure joy out of something. Even if it's something I don't understand, and he's saying these are things that bring me joy and I have to give up if I get married. And now she's antagonizing him about it. It's just...
As you referred to children, a wife. You want to stay selfish. You want to, you want to be in your own world. That's a fair...
You're selfish too! Oh my God. Look. You did the same thing, Candace. You did the same thing. And I know she was grilled on Fresh and Fit about why she got married later or whatever, why it didn't work out with the guys before. And she said it was like an IQ thing. And I'm like, Candace, come on. I doubt your IQ is that high. I doubt my IQ is that high. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, we're commentators. Know your place in the hierarchy of hard jobs. Come on.
Assessment.
I said that in terms of my development, I'm trying to get over some of those aspects.
That is selfish, right? I mean, is that fair assessment?
I think that's a judgmental.
Selfish. You want to spend time with yourself. You don't want to invite people into your space. I think I used that word.
Men, they really value their alone time. That's why they have man caves or whatever, because we're exhausting. Even me, I'm not even saying I'm different or special, right? I'm exhausting too. And there are times where you have to realize that your husband, your dad, whoever, they need a break from you sometimes. They need guy time. They need it. It's part of their psychology, you know? And it's just, I really hate when women do this to men. This just really grinded my gears today because I grew up with women like this. And you know what? I grew up with women like Candace and men like Nick. Nick's like a Midwestern, just nice guy, right? Like nice, I went to like high school with a lot of guys that kind of like remind his look, whatever, demeanor. And they're really nice to be around. And sometimes they'll get so excited about something, right? They'll get so excited. And just watching women just like tear them down about something there and make fun of the stuff they're excited about. Oh my God, I just hate seeing it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh wait, I gotta play.
Exactly as it should be used.
Well, and I'm explaining why there's multiple aspects to it too. It's not just as simple as that.
That's fine, but acting like I tried to offend you when I just
I'm not
gave
saying
you a word to use. I definitely did not try to offend
he's exhausted.
you when I was asking you about family. You ask people about themselves.
Okay.
That's for the same reason that I asked you about what you were up to in high school. And
this is why women never get the truth, because it's just he's exhausted. He's done. Can I have him call in, Doug MPA? Can I? No. No, I can't do that. I can't. I'm monetized again. I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that. All right. American Midwestern supremacy. All right, Doug MPA. All right. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
what your priorities were, what you were doing in college, it's because it's a natural point. You're 26 years old. People are going to ask you, okay, you have all these perspectives. You're saying people, a very natural transition. You're talking about the fact that you don't believe people should interracially marry, correct?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fair to then move on to the discussion and ask you about marriage. There wasn't some like trap there.
Yeah, no, and I don't think that's my issue with.
She's trying to pathologize his preferences, which is common feminist manipulation tactic. I know, like something's got to be wrong with him because he doesn't want to get married, or he doesn't want to right now.
But I don't think I got triggered. I think I gave you a real response. So
you said grow some nuts. Yeah, why don't you be unemployed for a year and a half? Why don't you do it? Look it. I'm all for free speech, but there's some stuff I got to stay away from. It just is what it is.
Well, you were like, listen, woman, don't ask me what I'm doing.
I didn't say listen. Look, I happen to believe that I don't like women telling me what to do in general.
I didn't tell you what to do. I said that when you get married, you said you wanted to get married.
You said you're giving me a lecture. You said,
yeah,
you
I said,
go
well,
to
this may
church
sound like a lecture because I'm sounding like an old timer here, but I didn't tell.
Yeah, and you see how she was corrected? Feminine women say, oh, I'm so sorry. That's their response.
You what to do.
Okay.
Like if you're
Candace is trying to goad Nick into saying he's not hetero.
Giving a lecture on any topic, hey, this is what's great about marriage. I didn't say, Nick, you need to get married right now.
I just feel like it's pointed. I feel like a lot of these questions are pointed, but maybe that's just me and I'm imagining
genuinely,
it.
You're imagining it.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody watching that is going to.
Yeah. Okay, so that's clip number 1. And that was a clip. And according to, I'm going to show her tweets. Candace said here, I'm going to find this tweet. Hold on. I was told on here. So if YouTube, when pulling clips is fine, but live stream my entire interview. as we are premiering it no less, does not work. So I was told that I'm allowed to pull clips. Okay, let me see what the next timestamp is. All right. 28:55. All right. All right, and then we're going to watch one thing, and then you can call in. So all the people saying I'm just a Candace hater, call in. You can call in and confront me on it, all right? And then the other, I want you to think about what your ex-girlfriends and wives nagged you about, and let me know. Oh, wait, not this one. You can tell me your stories. So we're not going to bring up people yet, but the link is there if you guys want to get ready. Please, God, turn off your YouTube in the background. Please, God, I just, be ready to go. All right, 28:55.
Wanted to.
All right, 28:55. Oh, here we go. Oh, actually, I wanted to show this. I'm going to go a little before. I'll turn off the sound for
I don't have this clip.
Certain topics, because again, we're trying to stay monetized here.
But I know that recently, and this was after I was fired from the Daily Wire.
So by the way, they had this interview, right? And now they're both the JQ expert, whatever. They're doing that stuff. They could have had an interview where they both talked about that topic, but it's like women are going to women. She just could not deal with, cannot deal with people talking bad about her. She can't.
Kind of went on the attack about me speaking to Dave Smith, right? And saying, actually, I think we do have that clip. Skylar, I think we do have that clip of me speaking to Dave Smith. Do you want to run that clip?
She has nothing to do with me. She wants nothing to do with me. Doesn't do anything with me. No invitation, won't bring me on the space, won't bring me on the show. No acknowledgement, nothing. But she is going to do a show with Dave Smith, Jew, Aiden Ross. And I like Aiden Ross. I've said that.
Okay, I'm gonna mute this part, but she's pulling up a clip. So you think it's gonna be? So there's some topics I'm not trying to get into on here. Okay, wait.
Go up and figure out what he wants to do. Oh, really? Bafangul, Candace.
Being fired. So you're just looking at the fact that these two, I didn't even know Aiden Ross was Jewish. I just had a PR agent say, do this. I swear I didn't know.
He's visibly Jewish.
Okay, but just so we're very clear,
No, I'm
I
kidding.
genuinely had no idea. Your PR person comes, here are the shows. Okay, yes. Dave Smith, we had amazing conversation when I was on the Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm.
And so your purview here is, okay, well, they're Jewish and she's doing their shows while not saying to your audience she's doing a bunch of other shows too. How is that not you just kind of honing in before we get to the why you think I'm full of shit and don't know what I'm doing?
Well, here's the beef, okay? And it's pretty simple. Dave Smith, in my opinion, and I like Dave because I've done a show with Dave too, and I think he's a good guy. I respect him. I think he's super intelligent. And, he gave me a chance when a lot of people wouldn't. He had me on his show and he defended me because he got attacked a lot from the libertarians.
And that's why you suck, because you get somebody who comes out and defends you and has you on the show when you're being canceled, and then you throw him under the bus for what, because I don't even know what your beef is. It's like, why not just have be totally like, oh yeah, that was cool. We had a conversation. I disagree with him on some points.
Well, here's why. Because I don't think that I should be grateful for being given a chance.
It's not being grateful. It's just being a decent enough human being.
So now she's trying to signal again, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. And she's just trying to nag behavior she doesn't like. Women, it's like if there's behavior that they don't like, they can't just listen. They can't just deal with it. They have to nag the person and then nag every single person around them for that one thing they don't like about them. Nick talks shit on the internet, okay? If you don't like that, don't be his friend. He doesn't have many friends.
gratefulness. You don't owe anybody anything.
Okay.
But the point is you kind of lament the fact that you've been canceled. You lament the fact when nobody will have your platform. And in the very same breath, talk about being a hypocrite, you're going after Dave Smith for what? Like, why is she doing Dave Smith? Jew.
Well, I'll tell you. Can I explain why? I'm telling you why.
You can.
So my feeling on Dave Smith, and although I like him, is that, look, he is Jewish. He's also a libertarian, which means that, you know, when he talks about, for example, the situation in Iran or Israel, he's an anti-war guy. He says, you know, Trump is a war criminal who needs to be impeached. I don't believe in any of that. I don't care that Trump violated international law. I care that he's influenced by a foreign government. He said on another show, he said, Israel's a satellite of the U.S. We're the empire, and they're our satellite. They're like our aircraft carrier in the Middle East, which is something Joe Biden said, who's an AIPAC.
This hit home when I was married. I feel alone in her presence, and her absence brings me peace.
Man, I think that Dave Smith is somebody who, because he's a paleo-libertarian, like Murray Rothbard, like Ron Paul, like a lot of these guys, he is someone who, because he's anti-war, is sort of forced to confront the Israel lobby. Because if you're anti-war, ideologically, you have to talk about who's driving it, which is the Israel lobby. But he's not a religious Christian. He's a religious Jew or agnostic or atheist. He's not really a right-wing guy. He's a libertarian. He's
not a religious Jew.
He says that he's proud of being Jewish. He's proud of his ethnicity. He's proud of Judaism.
Should he not be proud that he's he's just born this way?
Well, but here's the point, though, is so he's not really 100% aligned with my view. Now, here's why that matters. I think that
it doesn't.
No, it does.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. I'll tell you why.
It doesn't. You can't say I want to create people in the image of myself.
No, I'm
completely ridiculous.
I'm criticizing people that I disagree with. And to put it very succinctly, I think that this conversation about Israel has blown up. It's gotten out of their control. Everyone's getting red-pilled. They want to control the conversation. And I think that Dave Smith is somebody that, because he's Jewish, because he's libertarian, they have selected him as a convenient spokesperson for it. Because he doesn't really have a problem with Jews and their Jewishness. He doesn't really talk about
we gotta hold on. I'm gonna skip ahead.
Name he debated the British guy.
Sometimes you internet too hard. The way that Dave Smith came,
like, can you imagine? Imagine if I brought in no Rollo hates me. I still love him. I'm still a fan, even though he hates me. If I had him on, look, I would be so excited. He'd never do it. Sometimes your heroes hate you. It just is what it is. Like, if I was gonna bring him on, he'd never do it. I'd have a conversation about his book. Do you know what I'm doing? My job here. Like what I'm gonna bring up every bad thing. I'm just using this as an example. I'm gonna bring up every bad thing he's ever said. Okay.
onto our podcast on Daily Wire. He wasn't even on my radar. Skylar, who you just met, the producer, was a massive Dave Smith fan for years. And just kind of like what the libertarian debate was that was being had. He's like, you got to check out this guy, Dave Smith. I was like, cool, book him. Let's get him on the show. And it was my favorite podcast that I did at Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm.
So I just liked him.
Okay.
That's it. There was no incentive of like, well, let me get
gaslight
this guy on again. I was like, can we create the magic of what we spoke about war? Because I'm kind of falling, I guess, down the rabbit hole and learning a lot. And he had a lot of information I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that was it. So there was nothing behind it. So when I hear you say it, I'm like, okay, are you interneting too hard? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little.
Okay. So now she's about to nag him about the stuff he said on the show. Now look, this is a 2-hour show we do here. I'm gonna just move on from this. You opt in or opt out. I never understood this, and I think I listened to this and I got even more triggered because I've had to deal with so many freaking women. Oh my God. It just, don't take it personally. I don't think Rollo likes any women. Look, I really did when I first got here. I don't care anymore. He's old. Do you know what? He's weird. But when I first got here, it's like I'll tell a story on my show. Some woman, sometimes it's not even about a woman, and then she crashes out. She thinks it's about her. And now I have a woman crashing out, or now they're sending me oh, you said this. What do you think about my life choices? Oh my fucking God. And I'm like, hey, I'm debating at work. This is my show. Oh my fucking. Did I just relate? Oh, but you said, but this story had something to do with me. And I said, you can't even tell. Like, nobody would know who you... It just never ends. It just never ends. It's like women just psychologically torture you. It's psychological torture. And ever since I've started talking about more of the men's point of view, women in my personal life psychologically torture me. But you said this. You said women can't do this, but I do this. Women, and that's why I'm telling you, a lot of times when you give your opinion and all your opinions are on the internet, just know what comes with it. Know what comes with it. I don't really care. He can keep hating me. I don't care. I don't. But Rollo's always angry. I don't know. It's fine. I'm chilling. But my point is this. All right, we're going to call in, but I want to tell you the psychological torture I'd say women do to me in my personal life. Now, one is that if they disagree with you in a way that you act, the worst part is not the nagging up front, because I can ignore that. The worst part is women make it everybody's problem and get everybody involved. And then you go meet other people and there's this weird energy in the room. And you're like, why is there this weird energy in the room? And you just know that this woman, and you realize that these are terrorists and there's no negotiating with them, and it never ends. Okay, but now we're going to have people call in. I know. Rollo's got Pearl derangement syndrome. I know. And he would always... I think I did a show earlier about, like, all the stuff he said. So I've moved on. But, all right, we're talking today. In your last relationship or marriage, what did your wife or girlfriend nag you about, and how did she nag you? And what is something annoying that a woman has done that's gotten you to break up with her? So call in. I mean, there should be a ton of callers because I feel like the list is endless.
And also, you give your, make it short, but give your opinion on the interview if you saw it. And Candace having the audacity to nag NF, Nick, what was that about?
I don't think she realizes how rude that is.
Well, you lined out the points at the beginning of the show, and she does all that, all of it. And what I always say is the liberals, remember, nature makes everything poisonous and dangerous in nature, weird shapes and bright colors, so animals can recognize it. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing with like liberal women. Liberal women have the piercings and the tattoos and the purple hair, so you can see the toxicity coming. But tradcons, they mask themselves. And we're getting to the point where you could take a liberal talking head and take Candace Owens or Tommy Lauren, and you can mix what they say, and it's starting to sound all the same.
The exact same.
Or just listen to how they speak to men or how they speak to people, and they speak to them the same way.
I just couldn't believe. I was like, the audacity. Okay, so what about you, Doug MPA? Did any of your exes nag you, or what was something annoying that a girl's done that made you dump her?
So, guys, I know you may want a traditional one, because a lot of people think that nagging just has to be the wife giving you a to-do list and say, you never do this, and you never do that. That's probably number one. But if you want to go the traditional route, you have to make sure that you find a woman who needs a man and is feminine, but isn't a petulant child, especially the really pretty ones. Because I have dated, and when I was married, my ex-wife was absolutely beautiful, but absolutely helpless. And the way that she wouldn't nag me from a, I know more than you, I need more. She'd nag me from a, I'd make mistakes and you have to fix them standpoint. Understand what I'm saying? So be careful, guys. I know that you want a traditional woman. You want her to let you be the protector and the provider and stuff, but you don't want a woman who's completely helpless.
Yeah, the helplessness is cute when they're 20, but not when they're 30 with a kid. Like,
Yeah,
even if it's your kid, right?
Yeah, a lot of very attractive women, they may be helpless when you first meet them because they've never had to solve problems. Look, let's just face it. The world insulates beautiful women from having to do anything. But you want to see them grow over time. And there are some beautiful women where they don't grow over time. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So be careful with that kind of nagging too, guys. I've had that happen a couple of times. Well, not me, a couple of times.
Have you ever dumped a girl and not told her why?
Yeah. Pearl, you're talking to the Ghost King over here. Come on.
Let's
now,
hear it, Ghost King.
You just ghost them, man. When you're talking about the talking points, women feel entitled to your time, your resources, and especially when they get older in the dating market, and they finally have to start doing work, and their options are starting to go away. They feel entitled to closure, guys. Don't give them closure. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why? They didn't give you closure. And most of us guys, we learn how to ghost. We learn all the negative aspects of dating from women when we were younger. So give it back to them, guys. And don't keep making the mistake of taking the higher ground when it comes to being a man. Why? We tried that for the last, thousands of years. Women called that patriarchy and misogyny. Go ahead.
What was the reason you ghosted? That's what I was getting at. Like, what was the annoying thing she did?
Okay, multiple reasons. One, the two greatest powers you have as a man as you get older is determine who your girlfriend, fiance, and wife is, and being able to walk away. Modern women will do their best to take those two things away. Okay. So they want you to be on their schedule. They'll try to tell you, well, what are we? We need to be together now. Walk away. They'll try to shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right you into not being able to walk away. So you'll try to walk away and they'll try to guilt you, or you'll try to say no and they'll get you. So just walk away.
No, I meant but what was the annoying thing that made you want to walk away?
It's some kind of aspect of that. So,
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Some kind of aspect of that. You want a specific instance?
Yeah, that'd be great.
What would be a good example? I was dating a woman one time and we hung out with my family and she got my sister's phone number and I didn't know it. So then all of a sudden she's texting my sister. And I'm like, what's that about? And even my sister was like, why? What? I mean, she asked me for my phone number and I just gave it to her. But now she's texting me all the time and trying to say, oh, yeah, this and that, whatever. So that was an immediate walk away.
Got it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to let in the callers? Do we have any?
Yep, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. We have almost 1,500 people in here, so let's try to get 1,000 likes at least.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we hit 2,000, guys.
Yeah, so share the video. A lot of new faces in here, but thank you for being here with us on YouTube. And thanks for everyone on the Audacity chat. Guys, you can go to Pearl's website, theaudacitynetwork.com, and join for $9 a month. We'd love to have you over there. She reads everything over there that you put Pearl Read in front of. In fact, can you check the website and make sure there's no Pearl Reads right now?
Oh, yeah. Let me check.
then I'll bring people in.
Doug MPA, the only way they can get we took off the 10. Now we're just doing the high ticket
I'm
one.
sorry about that. But just go to the website and take a look at the join offer. We'd love to have you over there.
Okay. The only way if you guys still want that one, the only way you can get it is on the app. You better go now because we are closing it off. And we're gonna bring back the learning stuff. So, anyways, yeah, because we're gonna take applications because we're gonna do events and stuff, and I gotta make sure you guys are normal. Respectfully, you guys know how the internet is. I don't see any on there.
Okay. All right. First up, we have JC Jackson. I should just said JC. I won't say your last name. JC's audio is connecting. And like I said before, were you in a relationship or married to a woman who just nagged you to death? What kind of techniques did she use? And then also, if you have an opinion on the Nick Candace interview, just don't say anything about the JQ and don't say his first name and last name together because YouTube doesn't like it. JC, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, JC, how's it going?
It's been going pretty good.
Good. So in your last relationship or marriage, what did your wife or girlfriend nag you about?
I mean, I look at nagging more as a feature than a bug, I guess you would call it. When it comes to, being in relationships with women, it's just kind of a thing you can't avoid. I'll tell you about my current wife, as I've spoken to you a couple times about her. She still nags, but I've slowly introduced her to red pill content, and she listens to you every once in a while when I'm in my office, and she comes and sits with me, and she's just slowly through the years we've been together, she's just slowly the behaviors. She's she didn't realize she was nagging. It was just always what her mother did to her father and her stepfather. And she still does it to this day, but she's a lot more gracious when I softly call her on it.
Okay. Go ahead.
She'll get kind of overwhelmed if we're in a situation, and she'll start getting rushed and getting upset about everything. And I have to tell her, hey, watch it. Calm down. This isn't life or death. You need to chill.
Okay.
My only pushback on that is that did she nag you when you were dating and before you got married? Because women will shut that off for about a year or two. Women can't shut it off.
Yeah. So actually, no. It's always, our relationship has always been this way. But I was also the king of ruining first dates. I went on first dates, and my first 5 questions are, what's your relationship with your father? How many bodies you got? Do you want to be a stay-at-home wife or work? I was determined not to get second dates. So I got all the awkwardness out of the way in the very beginning to but yeah, it was never. I mean, it was never she was never really on her best behavior. Mm-hmm. Her best behavior is just basically if she's having a good or bad day generally. And
has she ever tried to tell you why she nags? Is it just some kind of feeling? Because one thing I've noticed is men argue to a solution. Women argue until they're done.
Yeah.
So a lot of women, they want to nag you just to feel heard, and that can take 10 minutes. It can take 10 days.
It's 100% a feeling, and me and her have had this talk in depth, and it's a feeling because she will nag and complain to me about something that I'm not even involved in. She'll nag me about her mother and her father's divorce, and I'm I'm not your father, and you're not your mother. I don't know what you want me to tell you or do about it.
Got it. Cool.
And also I know a lot of women do this, but reminding us constantly of shit, they don't exactly think that's nagging. She does not understand that as nagging. I had to explain to her hey, I don't need you to tell me for the 5th time this week that trash day is on Friday. I'm the one that fucking set the trash day. Like, I know it's on Friday.
I'm going to tell you this. And guys, I've never gotten nagged in a relationship. You want to know how? Because women do the, okay.
Because you'll ghost.
Well, that's number one. But number two, guys, women, they don't know that their decisions, women reserve the right to change their minds about anything. Okay. And they want to take over the house because they want to take over the house and where the family is and stuff. Mm-hmm. And a man will let her have it. Say, honey, go ahead. This is your house. You're supposed to be the manager of the house. But then she'll complain about it. It's just like guys will try to help at the beginning or when you're living together before you get married or before you get serious. A guy's doing stuff, but then she insists on taking it on and then complains about it later. Guys, have you ever been doing the yard work, fixing the car, doing the oil changes, and then 5 years down the road say, honey, you never helped me with the yard, ever. And I'm mad at you. Or you never helped me change a tire. Or you never helped me. No, men, we take on our duties in perpetuity.
We don't keep score really like that. It's just not the way our brains work. And I mean, if I ever could get my wife like on the show with me, she'll tell you like my 2 favorite words are shut and up.
Like that means she loves you, right? Because we only love men that'll tell us that.
So just look. How did I not get nagged? You gotta tell her, I'm gonna do things my way, and that's it. Like, don't let her way become the normal. That's where guys mess up. They give it all away, and then you never do this, you never do that. Don't accept that her way is the way in the household. Don't do it. That's how you prevent being nagged. Just don't do it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, here's some advice that's made my relationship better just in the last like 3 months. I didn't ask her opinion. I just said, hey, honey, I signed up for a private the people you work out with at the gyms. Mm-hmm. Personal trainer. Yeah. I said, I got a personal trainer for 3 months at the gym. I'm gonna go every day during my lunch break. I ain't coming home for lunch ever. Or Monday through Thursday. So like Monday through Thursday, I'm going to the gym on my lunch break. So I'll see you, when I actually get off of work. And then I love playing soccer, and a adult soccer league in my town opened up, and I said, all right, honey, I'm gonna go do this. I've already paid for it. I'm not really asking your permission. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will not be home until like 9:30, 10 o'clock those nights. And you know what the fuck she did? She packed me Gatorades.
There you go.
There you go.
I said, it seems really hard to understand especially if you're not a nice guy, because a nice guy is like, a weak man, but like if you're a nice person, like the advice to how to behave with women it's not going to come natural. It's especially if you're like, it's your wife and you want to love them. Hell, it's weird. You have to kind of be a jerk, but you also have to.
Yeah.
You feel bad for having to be nasty to her, but it's the only way.
Yeah. Can't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling in. Call it anytime, okay?
Yep. See you again.
Have a good one.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a full call line.
There is. There's a lot of
people. I know.
I'm
like, yeah, this is a pain point.
Okay. Next up, we have Sean is coming in. How many likes are we at?
Is that Sean?
That is Sean.
Oh, it's
that
Sean.
always calls in. Always a good call with Sean. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing well.
How's it going, Sean?
It's going well. Let's see. What's the question? I guess. What have I been nagged about?
Yeah, and by a girlfriend or wife. Maybe something that made you break up with them, and they didn't know why.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, to me, like I've observed pretty much everyone I've dated has pretty much nagged me. So with my last girlfriend, like anytime she would just be worried about me in general, whether it's like what clothes I'm wearing or whether I'm going to be cold when I go out, even though, I've obviously been single for most of my life up until I met her when I was in my early 30s. I think girls in general, because they're just very emotional, when they feel very emotionally charged towards somebody, usually a significant other, especially when they're living with them, they'll become very nagging because they nag because they care, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And a lot of times when you get into these sort of cyclical arguments with them where they're nagging you, it's because what I've observed at least is that women tend to share, they believe sharing emotions, whether positive or negative, is kind of how they communicate and how they bond with guys in particular. So because guys are generally pretty expressionless, like we don't really try to express emotions, they believe that means something's wrong. So they'll almost like nag you to start a fight, because if you fight back with them, especially when they're being very illogical and they're not being very coherent, it must mean by definition you care. Because like, if someone nags you at work and you don't give a shit about them, you're just not going to care about them. You're not even going to engage. But you can't really avoid that if you live with that person. So you're trying to deal with it logically, but that person's being very illogical and they're not listening and they're being very invalidating. So it just turns into a very cyclical argument. And it took me a while to realize that that's the nature of how a lot of women are, is they kind of just start shit because that's their way of confirming you care. And they almost do it until they exhaust themselves and their brain resets. And then they like emotionally balance out. And then sure enough, later within a week or two, it's like the same thing. So yeah, I mean, the reason why I broke up is just because we were getting into cyclical arguments where she was nagging me that I'm not spending enough time with her. And I totally agree with Nick Fuentes on this. The reason why he stays single, and this is why I actually
say NF.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, don't say his first name and last name, please.
Oh, sorry. The reason why I agree with NF on this is because what he's basically saying is that it's sort of a headache to deal with them, especially when you live with them, particularly. When you don't live with them, it's a lot easier. But when you live with them, there's no avoiding them. And many times they can be very resentful in your own house. And so you almost take on a second job dealing with them while you're also trying to do your job and trying to do your normal day-to-day life. So I think a lot of men feel like when they get into a relationship or they get married, it's almost like they took on a second job and now they don't have time like they used to go to the gym or to hang out with their friends or pursue their hobbies, because most women have a consumptive type of love where if they really like and care about you, they want more and more of your time. And that takes a man away from their purpose and their passions and their hobbies and their friends. So I totally agree. If anything, Pearl, to your point, I think this is why a lot of Gen Z and quite frankly, many millennial men stayed single for a very long time, is because they don't want to deal with women in general. So like, I think women are competing with a lot of men for their peace. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, because the young guys I see, it's not like when they choose or they reject a girl, they just seem uninterested. Like they just don't care.
Absolutely.
Like,
and I was at a bar yesterday because I was on a date with somebody, and I noticed there were so many guys at the bar with just other guys. Yeah. And there were like some girls who showed up with some guys, but for the most part, it was pretty much all single guys just wanting to hang out with guys. Like they were not looking to take anyone out and see if they could get laid or anything like that. They were just like happy this way. So,
well, and then remember the rhetoric of the past 50 years has been women give up so much in a relationship and women have so much. No, like men, when you take on a girlfriend and a fiance and a wife and show that you are choosing to give everything you have for your entire life, women are not built like that. They're just not.
Well, it's total nonsense because no man today is pushing for a relationship and is pushing for marriage. So, sorry,
that's not true. So they said they did a survey of college students under 30. I think it was men and women under 30, and 52% of men said that they see relationships and marriage in their future at some time, and only 22% of women did.
Yeah, but I think if you were to ask most men, could you have a forever, girl you're exclusively dating or, in a relationship with, let's say, for the next 20, 30 years without getting married? I think most men would say, yeah. Most men would date a girl for 30, 40 years exclusively and have kids with her, but not formally be married or anything. I think that's kind of where most American men are at these days. So it is true with what you're saying, but it's not true in the sense that they're like heading to the courthouse and ready to get married.
Well, yeah. It's just saying, do you see it as a value or do you see it in your future?
Yeah. Absolutely. I would
point.
say just young men, old men, we all see that having a good quality girl, assuming we could get that here, is a valuable thing to have in our life, but on terms that we want. So we don't necessarily want to live with them, but we want to live close enough to them that we can like go over to their place and spend some time and then come on back, but not necessarily live with them.
We want you around, but not around.
Exactly. Like, and I think that's what most men want. Like, we want them close enough. Like, the best time I had a relationship with my ex was when she lived in her apartment complex that was close enough that I could get there within 10 minutes, but not close enough that she could always come over to my place real fast. I could kind of like have my peace and then I could have my fun and then leave right afterwards. So I think that's the ideal setup for most men.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
All right, Sean, we got to let you go because we literally have a full call line.
I knew we would have a full
anytime,
call
buddy.
line on this topic, Joel. So it's
awesome.
Nice.
Thanks, everyone.
Late 13C in reference to persona, foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless from Old French, nice, careless, clumsy, weak, poor, nerdy, simple, silly, foolish. Manny, question for Pearl. How do you deal with nagging from women and how do you perceive other women deal with it? Like, how do I deal with it when women nag me? Oh my God. They don't, do you know what? Recently, I just walk away, but that pisses them off more.
Guys, I've been supporting Pearl since the beginning before she was famous. And I remember she called in a couple times when she was in London and was talking about her health, having to deal with all these, especially during the pregame show. And it just wasn't good, man. I don't know how people like Myron, how these people do it all the time for all these years, man. Like,
yeah, I could see why he lost.
I was scared for you for a little bit, Pearl. Remember that?
Yeah, I was getting kind of fat.
Yeah.
The best advice about women I ever got was this: a man's first wife was given by God, second wife by the devil, the third wife by the devil. Or sorry, second by the people, third wife by the devil.
There you go.
I don't know about that. I think men's second wives are usually better. Okay, go ahead for the next caller.
Okay. Next up, we have Ryan. Ryan K. Ryan, we can see you. He's probably listening to the YouTube, so it's like a 5 second delay. Ryan, we can see you. Ryan going what? Yeah, there you go.
Hi, is this me? Is this me?
Are you listening to the
Yeah.
YouTube?
Hey,
You got
Ryan.
to turn it off.
Yeah, I just turned it off. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know if it was my name or my handle. There's lots of Ryans out there.
Okay, cool. So what is something that your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend has nagged you about, maybe to the point that you dumped her and she didn't know why?
I've been married twice, divorced twice, and I had like 3 or 4 girlfriends around, throughout my life, other than my wives. And I never really experienced nagging, to be honest with you. What I think that's kind of a punchline, kind of a 1950s holdover. I think what I experienced most from women was more the silent treatment or passive aggressiveness. One thing that really angered me with both of my wives is that even though we're spouses and we're supposed to be one, 2 pieces of the same unit, they would talk to their friends and their family members about important stuff involving our marriage and our household before they would talk to me. And I would find out about that after the fact, and that would really, really anger me because I should be the first person you go to. But it seemed like they were going out, talking to their friends and their family with the situation, whatever it might be, and getting their input to maybe gathering information, gathering data, and trying to figure out a way to come at me with that, with a stronger point of view from their side. Not that we were even disagreeing in the first place or whatever the situation was, but I just didn't like that at all. Mm-hmm. That's what I experienced.
Okay. Yeah. That's really true. Women do that.
Because what happens is, because I've experienced this, you can tell when her friends have gassed her up and coached her on what to say, because what they'll do is you'll start expressing your feelings and they'll shame, insult, guilt, need to be right to you to stop the conversation. because they're so used to talking to their friends that they can't work through it themselves. So they'll find a way to, I don't want to talk about this anymore, Ryan. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Or we'll talk about this in a couple of days. Then she goes to her coaches, and then she has a whole script ready, right? Am I right?
Yep.
You're like, who is this person? And then if you're around her friends, you get to the point where you can tell which friend that she talked to because she starts to argue like that friend. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I know, and really what's frustrating is I would know that they had done this because those other friends or family members, like for instance, one of my wives, we worked together at the same company, different sides, but same company. And we had some coworkers that were both in both of our professional circles. And every now and then, one of the girls at work would come up to me and say, "Oh, hey, did you and your wife work out that thing with the thing?" I'm like, why do you even know about that? Oh my God. You know, so yeah, exactly. And then also, and the same thing happened with her family. Well, one of my wives, she had like 4 sisters. And so inevitably, one of the sisters would let us slip saying, that'd be just a normal conversation going on. And one of the sisters would say something like, "Oh, like that time when you guys were dealing with," and I'm like, how did you even know about that? You weren't even supposed to know about that, you know? So that's how I knew that they took them out, you know, outside, exterior. But that just angered me so much. It's almost as if both wives came into the marriage as ready to be combative with me, as ready to, with some knowledge that they know, quote unquote, know that they have to be combative and confrontational, like it's going to be a struggle, the marriage. And meanwhile, when men get married, it was like the old adage about when men get married, they hope their wife stays the same, and when a woman gets married, she hopes her husband changes. And that I definitely experienced that with both of my wives to some extent. My first wife, I had just gone out of the Marine Corps, so I was like really buff, and she liked that obviously. And I had a lot of time off, so we were spending a lot of time together. And I also eerily looked a lot like her father. And after we got married, she soured on me pretty quickly. We were only married for 5 years. She soured on me pretty quickly, and we went to 2 marriage counselors, actually, 2 marriage counselors. And
were they both women?
Yes, they were.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah. And what's funny is this is a little side note. The first marriage counselor, the reason why we stopped seeing her was actually I wanted to stop seeing her because one of the issues in the marriage was intimacy. And I'm of the thought of if you're going to be involved with someone and attached to them spousal wise, married for life, and you take those vows, you should want to be intimate with them. Like if you, I'm not even religious or biblical, but like that's in the Bible, for crying out loud. So, So the lack of intimacy was a big issue, and so that was one of the issues we were going to counseling for. And during one session, towards the end, the one counselor said, "Well, if you didn't want sex so much, it wouldn't be a problem."
Women, guys, women counselors.
God. Yeah, and so the plague. And that was the end. That was near the end of the session. So there was only like 5 minutes left. So we walked out, and as we were walking out of the office and through down the tile hallway towards the double doors, I turned to her and said, "We're not coming back to her." So then like another month. So like another month later, yeah. Well, and I told her why. I said, "Did you hear what she said? She just said it wouldn't be a problem if I just didn't want sex so much." So. Yeah, but then we saw a second counselor. Second counselor was better, and she tried really hard. She was an older lady, and she was kind of like I can remember her, Dr. Ruth. She focused on the sensuality and the intimacy, but there just was my wife. I to this day I think that maybe she was actually a closet lesbian. I don't really know, to be honest with you. Yeah, but she. So, and her father was very industrious. And I'm not a lazy guy, but her father was one of these hyperactive type A guys. And he was not only a school teacher for his full-time career, but he also owned several properties. He was a landlord of several properties. Mm-hmm. And he also he would buy these properties dirt cheap because they were in horrible condition and then completely renovate them from bottom up. And so I think when we got married, I think she thought I was going to do the same thing. I'm not into that at all. So that disappointed her. And then the second wife, I could tell things were on the downslope. I was just kind of living it out. Well, again, like they say, men will sacrifice their happiness for their marriage, and women will sacrifice their marriage for their happiness. We were definitely on that downward slope, and I'm loyal to things to a fault to the very end, past the point where it's a recoverable thing. And the closest thing she came to nagging me about, besides the other stuff I was talking about, how she talked to exterior people, is she complained to me about, now I like to keep a pretty clean house, but so I guess like she couldn't really nag me about that, but she complained that I didn't wash the baseboards. Like that was the only thing she could go to, right? Like
my God, they're never happy.
She had to go past vacuuming,
ends.
past the kitchen, past the bathrooms, past change the sheets on the bed, all the way. She had to get all the way to you didn't scrub the baseboards.
Of course you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Okay.
I do want to say one thing real quick before I get kicked off here. There's two verbages. There's two verbages two words that I have a problem with the way they're being used today. And one is ghosting, and I mentioned that because that's come up. And another word is simp. Can I say the word simp on here? I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
You get banned on Twitch if you say it or type it.
Yeah, you're fine here.
Okay. There are. To some, I'm very red-pilled, very MGTOW, been for a while, and I watch a lot of content about red pill and MGTOW and stuff. And a lot of the red pill content creators, they go right to the word simp way too quickly. Basically, in their point of view, if you ask a woman out, if you approach her, ask her out, and she denies you, then you're a simp. And I'm like, no. It takes more than that. There's a big fat gray area in the middle that you're missing. Like it would be like repeatedly doing that and then also giving resources and getting nothing in return. It would have to be like a pattern. Okay. So I think the word simp gets thrown around a little bit too much. And the other word is ghosting.
Well, I guess the question is, how fat is she? If you ask a 300-pound woman, I might call you that. Sorry, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I see that, but
I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
And and the thing is like even though I'm like fully in the red pill circle, sometimes I'll comment on some of these creators' videos. I'm like, dude, you just called a guy. A guy went up and approached a woman cold in a cold way. And just approach her and talk to her and try to get her number, and the woman declined it, and you called him a simp for that. And meanwhile we have an epidemic of men not approaching women.
Yeah.
And so I would comment about that in the comment section, and then all of the other followers would jump on me saying, "You're a simp, man."
Go to the next point, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, ghosting. Okay. So suddenly, well, two things. Yeah. Well, so suddenly women have a problem with ghosting. And they also have they have a problem with ghosting, but they invented it. It's only a problem now because it's affecting women. Same thing with the loneliness epidemic. It's only a problem now that it's affecting women. But the ghosting is, I can't tell you how many times even if it's with a woman that I'm not like romantically attracted to, just a friend, we'll be texting back and forth. And eventually, randomly, at some point, I'll just, ask a question like, hey, some random question, and I don't get an answer. And I don't, and then like the next time I hear from them is like a month later when like, something new came up. And I'm thinking if women just went through their own cell phones and looked at all of the conversations they had with men, where the man was the last to say something, and it wasn't just goodbye or have a good day, but like said something that required a response, how many times they didn't respond, women would see that they ghost men far more often than men ghost women.
Yeah, completely.
It's just the women, like Doug said a little while ago. It really bothers women.
Go ahead, Pearl.
When it seems like you don't care.
Hold on, Ryan. Go ahead,
No,
Pearl.
I agree. We just got to get to the next caller. Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, we have a full line.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for your service, buddy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got to try to keep it to like a couple minutes or less.
Yeah, that was like 8 minutes.
Yeah. So let's try to keep 4 minutes or less.
Okay.
Just for the next one so we can get a bunch of people in.
Next up is Mark. Mark live.
Hey.
Mark, how's it going?
Oh my God, Pearl.
It's me.
amazing to finally hear your voice live.
Your voice sounds familiar for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I am somebody, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so what's the question?
What have your exes nagged you about?
Well, like the previous gentleman, I've been married twice.
Okay.
And you know, I'm one of those guys that would be considered successful. I had a hit TV reality show on E! Entertainment. I'm a producer, MC. I own the trademark for the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So I did all the clothing for the anniversary. I have stuff in Macy's everywhere. So I'm pretty accomplished. But the problem is, I think today, just the mentality of women and how they are with men is just switched from when I was coming up. And, you know, my first wife used to nag me about ketchup. So if you had ketchup on the refrigerator or if you left ketchup on the counter, it was a whole thing. And I'd say, what the fuck are you talking about ketchup for? We just went to Rayo's last night. Like,
oh my gosh, that's happened to me before where it's like,
yeah, but I don't know what that is.
They complain about one thing on the counter. Oh my God, it never ends. Go ahead.
Or the worst was on the, if you had mustard on the fridge. Now, if I'm a New Yorker, I like my hot dogs and my hamburgers. You know, it might get messy if it's a good hot dog. Like, but that was a nagging point.
Can the man enjoy his hot dog?
No, you can't. You can't enjoy a hot dog. So now, you know, I think that was one of the things, and the nagging makes the man get confrontational. And then, like the first year of my marriage, I never raised my voice with my wife. I never said anything crazy because I didn't even think she could handle a confrontation. And then one day I said, you know what, bitch, you need to go outside with that bullshit. And she was like, what? And everything changed. It was just like she became my opponent, my enemy. And it was just, you know, it was a terrible situation. And regardless of what you have, you know, if you pick the wrong woman, you're in trouble. Like, even if you have status, doesn't matter these days. And she was foreign. She was from another country. So, you know,
yeah,
that was another thing.
Yeah. We came up with a rule over here where I'd rather have a guy import one from a different country and get 3 or 4 years of a traditional woman while she's waiting for her citizenship than to have never tasted that at all. Because some guys, especially in America,
twice. Yeah, my first wife was from Australia. My second wife was from Italy. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, when you're in an immigration matrix, you really don't know if they like you. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
But it's that way anyway. You don't know if American women really like you, though.
No, you don't. You don't. But it's better. You get 4 years of obedience. You get 4 years of shut the fuck up. You get 4 years of I'll try to cook this chicken, this fried chicken. Then when they get that citizenship, forget it.
Yeah, it's like the car analogy. It's better you have a car that got you from point A to point B for 4 years than was breaking down from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, because like you allude to a lot, Pearl. Guys don't have a lot of time in a marriage. I got lucky on my second marriage when I blew up. For some reason, she disappeared when she left, and then just sent me what do you call that now? The marriage they could just the no fault marriage.
Yeah.
Annulment? Was it annulment?
What is that called, Pearl? When they can just get a divorce without you being present?
Oh, yeah, no fault divorce, yeah.
So she did that to me, but you know, she didn't charge me. She didn't try to take anything from me. She just wanted to go. So, but the funny thing, she's in LA, she's not doing shit. She just trying to model, but she's a bum. I'm like, why would you choose to be a bum? You were living in a high rise. You were, you know, you had a Benz.
There's nothing more important to modern women than their own selfish desires. Nothing. Not their families, not their kids, not their husbands, not anything. That's why.
Well, and women would just rather be homeless than listen to a guy. It just is what it is. They said, "What up?"
You know what?
Ice-T?
You know, I'm gonna tell you one thing that messed my second marriage.
Mark, hold on.
Yeah.
Mark, what were you saying, bro?
Oh, they said, "What?"
I'm sorry, bro.
I just read a super chat. They called you Ice-T. They said, "What up, Ice-T?"
Oh no, they probably that's the Ice-T is the guy I work with. That's the show we did. Ice Loves Coco with Coco on E. So they may recognize my voice from the reality show we did. It was big.
Ice Loves Coco.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, it's Ice-T, and then his wife's like this stripper that's like 20 years younger than him, but she seems like a really, really cool chick though.
No, Coco is the best.
Yeah,
like Coco
that's what I'm saying.
Coco gets money. She's sweet. She treats all of us like regular people. Fixes us. Ice is like fix everybody a turkey sandwich. She don't have a problem with it. I love Coco.
Are they still together?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
They just had a kid. She got a 6-year-old.
Yeah, and he's like 66 or something. So he's
66.
60, yeah.
66.
I thought maybe I'd seen it, but I was thinking of For the Love of Ray J. Do you remember that show?
I remember that show. That was before our show. That was
greatest
before.
reality show of all time. Reality TV peaked at Flavor Flav. There's nothing better than Flavor of Love. Nothing.
I just remember there was a
funny.
girl on this show who was like, "Yeah, I want to wait to have sex," and then he sent her home.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm not comfortable yet," and he's like, "Well, there's the door."
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Well,
Thank
we're
you,
gonna
guys.
move to the next call. Call in anytime, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. You guys are great.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have some great callers tonight, man. This is great. All right, guys, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. You got us 20,000 over 2 million. We are on the road to 3 million.
By the way, guys, we just got a $100 super chat or donation for the documentary. So thank you to David for $100 towards the documentary. That puts us at 32,650. So maybe we can hit 40K this month. You never know,
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Okay. I'm going to bring up, he's been on here many times, but I'm going to bring him up.
Wait, she said,
Detox.
why are they saying did Coco cheated on Ice-T with a Chad publicly?
I don't know.
Okay, that's just what they're saying in the chat. I don't know that show, so take that with a grain of salt, guys.
Detox, are you there?
What's going on with y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, how's it going, Detox?
Going all right. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, it says that the Coco did cheat on Ice-T early in the beginning.
She did, but they worked it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay, so what have women nagged you about?
oh my God, what haven't they nagged me about?
I knew the men would have a lot to say. The women have been talking for ages. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of like just everything, like the 3 worst occasions, or maybe 2 worst occasions, because I don't want to like tie up y'all line or nothing. That way, y'all could get to some of those other great callers. So the first chick, this is about 2011, was a chick I really wasn't that into. We were working on some artistic projects together. Ended up renting a place together so that we could be more efficient and get this project done. And I literally built a studio in this woman's room, right? So it was her place. She was renting it. Then we started splitting the rent, hooking up and like living together. Luckily, she lived with some of my people, like people that I knew. And it was cool. For like the first month, everything was straight. Lots of sex, lots of music, everything was going cool, right? Then she sees like this. So basically, if she wants to, at any point, she can get up and record this music, right? I made it so easy for her before we started this project. She's like, oh my God, what would I would do anything to have a studio in my house and it'd be so easy for me and blah. So boom, built the studio, right? This just made it really easy for her, right? So the first month was great. Second month, she starts fucking. nagging. Oh, why don't you put it this color? Why don't you want to put it this color? You don't listen to me. I don't like this color. We should change the color. Why don't you? I'm just like, look, the color's not important. We need to focus on this music, and you need to like get recording. Boom, boom, boom. Whatever. So after a while, she wore me out to the point where I was like, all right, you win. Went and changed the color of the panels on the side of the booth, right? That's little stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then she started to like get that way in like an increasing intensity to where now I guess what she saw was that she had the ability to nag. So now she could like nag me and get other stuff out of me that she knew initially I wasn't cool with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if other guys can relate, but you know, when you really like a chick, not every guy, but you don't mind going down on a chick, especially if you're like really attracted to her, right? But if you're kind of just hooking up with a girl that's like mid or like you're not that sexually attracted to, you don't want to go down on her, right? So one day she's just like, how come you don't ever go down on me? And I'm just like, well, I'm not really into that. But I didn't want to tell her it's because I think she's ugly as, you know? I wouldn't tell her that. So, you know, we're living together, sleeping in the same bed and having sex every day. I was like, I'm not going to tell that to her. But so I was just like, yo, I'm not into that. It's not really my thing. Oh, but, you know, I'd really like it if you just went down on me and blah, 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 blah. So the first like day or two when she brought it up, it was kind of like in passing, right? It wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then it started to become like,
get to the nagging part.
Yeah, she starts taking it personal. Well, how come you don't eat me out? Is it because you don't love me and blah, blah? She starts to
Well, it
guilt
was
trip
kind of
me.
personal, right? You didn't like her that much.
Well, she didn't know all that, but anyway.
Obviously,
So-
she did.
So it was just like,
You can't just
you
take
know, like
the
if that
L.
was a-
Do you know what I mean? That's just an L. You just got to eat
Right.
it.
Bro,
Haven't you guys dated women you know
but,
don't like you that much? That happens, right? Like, come on.
Right. When a girl isn't that into you and you're like, hey, let's try this, and she's like, no, I don't want to do it, you don't put no pressure on her. You're just like, all right, cool. But this girl wasn't like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was like pressing me all week. And then like finally on the weekend, I was like, yo, let's go get some beer. We went and got some beer, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking I'm just going to smash and then we're going to go about our business and do whatever, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend stuff that we usually do. No. After we smash, she starts crying on the side of the bed. Why would you do it? I just want you to do it one time, please. Why would you do it? Because you don't do this. She just went on and on and on and on.
It's a crash
So we ended
out.
up getting in this huge argument where I was just like, yo, I'm not into it. Stop trying to pressure me, blah, 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 blah. I take a walk, I get a cigarette, and I'm like, shit, bro. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I got to go back. I was like, fuck it. I guess I got to go home and eat some pussy.
Did you do it?
Yeah, she won. I mean, she won. And I went home and she did it. And it's just like, I picture her like, I got him. Right? Boom. Cool. That was like one of, let's say, the medium nags. The other nag is like, I used to date this chick. She was from a different country. When we first started dating, it was kind of like she followed me. Like I set the pace of the relationship. I decided where we were going, you know, and she was just happy to be there. Like she was the most pleasant woman I've ever been around. And like, I don't know if other guys can relate, but you know, when you spend time with a girl that's just so awesome, you feel, not you're ready to or not you're going to, but you just feel in the moment like, yo, I could spend the rest of my life with this chick. She's awesome, right? We went on a road trip. She was like a saint. She was on her best behavior on this road trip, right? So that was for a job that I hired her for out west in California. So that job was coming to an end.
Just
She had to go
banging
back
all
to
your
her country.
coworkers? Like, is that how you meet your girlfriends?
This is just one girl I dated.
Okay,
like we like each other, you know, from like the
No, you
first day.
said
we
you were
saw-
working on a music thing with the other one. I'm like, is that the... Okay, but sorry, continue.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually ever think about that, but you could be right. Anyway, so we were both working for someone else, but I was working under the owner of the farm.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So it's like I'm his point guy So I'm the one that's responsible for like bringing people there because he's never there. So like they look at me like I'm the owner of the farm, but I wasn't really the owner of the farm. So anyways, like on her third or fourth day there, we hooked up, started dating, blah, 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 blah. She ended up taking something that she wasn't supposed to take from the farm just as an accident. Like, so I had to like fire her, but I was like, yo, I really had a good time with you. Like, let's go on a road trip, you know? So like a week passes, I pick her up, we go on this road trip, and she's like the most amazing girl I'd ever been on on a week. I think we're off for like a week, maybe 10 days.
Okay.
And she was just amazing, right? She didn't argue, she didn't fuss, she didn't fight. If I did something she didn't like, she shut the fuck up and didn't complain about it.
Okay.
Right? Just amazing. I was like, yo, I'm gonna marry this chick. Anyways, so we get back to the farm and I end up talking to like the owner of the farm, and he's like, well, all right, cool. Like, she can stay here. So the rest of the people that I hired with her, the people that she came from the other country with, they ended up leaving. So it was just me and her on the farm alone for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. So she got her job back, right? So she used to do this thing where if she feels like you don't understand what she's saying, she starts getting louder and like panicking, and like she gets like really not aggressive, but like, why don't you listen to me? And we can do it this way. Why you don't do it this way? And she, oh my God, it used to drive me crazy. And I'm like, baby, it's fine. Just do it the way I told you. And like, we only got a couple pounds more to go through. Just like, do it. No, but I'm not making any money. Oh my God, that used to drive me crazy to the point where I got like really angry, and I'm like, stop it. And she just kept going on and on, like nagging, like viciously, aggressively nagging that I don't care about her feelings, and why don't we do it her way, and I don't listen to her, and I don't make her feel. Oh my God. And it just went up to the point where I was like, oh my God, enough, woman. Like, I can't think when you do that. And I slammed down my hand on the trimming table, and she got like really scared, right? So I left the dehumidifier room, and I went and got some beer, and I came back, and I just like stayed far away from her. I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to be around her. She like really pissed me off. And I mean, this is a girl that just 2 days before that, we were like Cupid had shot us with an arrow.
Did you guys, you just end up breaking up over that?
No. So that was like the first big one. So whatever.
Wait. You got like 1 more minute because we have like 10 people in here.
So we patched that up. We went to a foreign country, back to her home country, and she wants to go one way driving. There's 2 ways that we can get back to our apartment in this country, right? She's telling me go this way, and I'm like, yo, we already passed the toll road. I'm not gonna go find a bank and then drive 15 minutes back so we could save 10 minutes. We're gonna keep going this way. Oh, but why don't you listen to me? And and she started again. So we ended up getting in this huge fight. The landlord comes up and he's like, what, you guys making all this noise about blah, 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 blah. She starts screaming in the bathroom like I'm like beating her up or like assaulting her or nothing. And it caused like a lot of attention, and to the point where like they didn't even want us living there anymore. So it's like they get so offended and angry. And I think that a lot of them do it without realizing that that's what they're doing. Is like it's emotional manipulation at the very least. But some women don't know any other way to communicate besides, like, in her head, she thinks she's doing the right thing to fix the problem, but she doesn't realize that what she's doing is destroying and disrespecting you in a sense. But in a woman's head, she's like, I want to talk about this. Why isn't he wanting to talk about this? Like, this is how it is with them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in. Okay, call in anytime.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, I just thought of one other way the women nag really fast. Guys, you guys ever been with a woman who's just a contrarian? Because a lot of women think that being empowered and being equal to you is arguing against you, even when they don't. See, because men, we're more likely to accept that someone is an authority or knows more than us, but women just can't do it. So you'll be with a woman and she'll have to be on the other side of everything. you'll be even something that you're an expert at or it's part of your career. She'll know nothing about it, but she'll feel the need to get on the other side of the issue. And I don't know why that is. I really don't. So that's another way that women can nag, is this whole contrarian thing that sounds smart.
Okay, who's next?
Cool.
How many more callers do you want to take?
We have one. We'll take two more.
Two more? Okay.
Yeah. Because their names I don't recognize. Jackson.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey Jackson, how are you?
Hey, I stressful work week. But yeah, the question is about what a woman has nagged me about in the past, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So she wasn't my girlfriend, but we were dating, and we didn't quite get to the point of boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay.
But the last thing I was nagged about was horror movies, liking horror movies. Basically, she was kind of a tradcon Christian type of woman, and she found out that I was a big fan of horror movies. I'm even wearing a Happy Tree Friends t-shirt right now.
Okay.
And basically, she had this idea that, like, if you're watching horror movies, you're opening up a portal to demonic spirits and that sort of thing. And so she was like, she told me she didn't like them, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And we continued to have dinner. Then I remember we were listening to, I was driving her home, and we had K-Love going in the car. And K-Love is just your super basic Christian radio station. Another thing about this woman is there was no like nerd aspect to her whatsoever, whereas, at least that I could tell, whereas that's sort of a key aspect of my personality. Basically, we were listening to this K-Love Christian radio station, and the song that was playing was something like "Everything You Do, Do It to Praise the Lord" or something like that. And so she goes, see, like this song is saying, do you think you can watch a horror movie to praise the Lord? And then later she sent me like this video of this woman who was talking about like the demonic stuff and that kind of thing. And it was a very strange video about how you think you're protected from demonic spirits, but you're not, and that sort of thing. And then eventually I don't think it was over this, because we did talk after this, but she ghosted me. But yeah, that's the last thing I was nagged about.
See, this is what I mean. Tradcon women, they're gonna nag you about horror movies. You might as well get a slut.
I did also have, I'm going to try
to
to keep it real brief because I know you have a ton of people. I do have one comment and question about the NF Candace Owens conversation without getting into the topic at all, because that's a whole other thing. But when you were talking about the first thing with Nick getting married and that kind of thing, like there, I'm totally with you guys. Like that was very clearly exactly what you were talking about. I guess I'm not positive though about, and you can speak to this and provide an argument, or sorry, not an argument, but provide an example of maybe what I'm not understanding. The second part though, where she's kind of confronting him about what he said about her on stream and that kind of thing while he's on the show, I guess my initial reaction is, if and I'm not a streamer or anything like that, but if somebody was talking about me in a negative way, it seems like if I'm going to have them on my show, it should be fair game to ask them about it or try to defend myself or something like that. Like, for example, and we know he's not going to do this, but if Rollo were to agree to come on this show, I don't think it would be unfair for Pearl to say, well, wait a minute, you said this, but this is my side of the story. So kind of what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't completely disagree, but I think you kind of do have to give someone a heads up if you're going to do that, because you have to understand we do 3-hour shows every day. So it's like you might have said something 6 months ago you don't remember, and you're asking them like, hey, this specific clip from this context like months ago. Because I'm fairly sure like the stream she's talking about was from a few months ago. I don't think that was like the worst one. I just didn't understand why she spent like 30 minutes of the interview on it. You know, I feel like it's part of the game. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Even if, look, unless someone is, the podcasting is kind of like the whole hip hop thing where there's always some kind of beef and whatever. And if it's not egregious, just go on the person's show. NF was like, look, she just doesn't invite me on her show. Like Pearl. Pearl has an invite. If anyone wants to smoke, they can call in. In fact, we might have to do a smoke show one of these days, Pearly. But yeah, I mean, like, she puts invites out on X all the time. Hey, I'm doing this topic. If you disagree with me, call in. Like, if someone is that vocal, Candace should have had him. Well, I mean, on her show a long time ago. She can't just say, "Well, he says mean things about me. I'm not going to have him on my show." Why not? Are you strong and independent, or
and
what?
It was more like I didn't
Sorry.
like how she was telling him like what he can and can't do on his show. Like, I don't mind her defending him, but it was like 30 minutes. She's just going in and saying, "Well, you shouldn't do that. Like, that's not the right way to go about things." Well, okay, screw you, Candace. Who are you to tell a grown man the right way to go about things? Go ahead.
Yeah, and he has to build his from the ground up. She had the Daily Wire, and then she wasn't she a liberal in liberal media before that?
It's just, it would be like, imagine if, and I had someone do this, where you took money from me for 10 years and then started an anti-white network. You know, return the money that you took from these people. You know what I mean? Return the money, and then you can do your anti-JQ. I don't have an opinion on that issue. I don't know enough. It's just not my thing. But it's just a little bit like, let me get this straight. You took money from these people for 10 years and now you're against them. It's just convenient to me. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, of course. And yeah, I'm just talking about, I'm not getting into that issue at all for multiple reasons. But basically, the thing I was just going to say is when Doug MPA just said something like, did Candace previously say you can't come on my show, Nick, or something like that? And that's what he was responding to in that clip.
Well,
because
I'll give you the back. Basically, what he was criticizing in the clip is saying, instead of having Nick's the go-to guy for all this stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
But everybody knows that's the guy. But, you know, podcasters that are pro free speech or say they're pro this stuff, when she's pressed to bring someone on this is just how I understood it. When she's pressed to bring someone on that represents the issue, and she brings on this random other guy that's also Jewish, he's offended that he's not being asked to be brought on. And I think he was accusing her of being like scared of losing money or something. But I would be scared of losing money because it's pretty expensive to have him on. So,
yeah. I mean, I will say, and I'm saying this as someone who has opposite views, admittedly, of both of them on this issue. But I will say Nick has, because I remember when this was all happening years ago, Nick has had several falling outs with people. I mean, it definitely is a pattern because I knew of him when he was a relatively minor streamer. But yeah, okay, yeah, that's all I want to say. I don't want to take up more time. I want other callers to be able to call in.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate a differing perspective, so thanks for calling in, okay?
Cool. All right, we're at 2 hours and 16 minutes. We can wrap it up.
Oh, I thought you wanted one more now. You said
okay.
two.
We can do one more.
Yeah,
I think we have one more caller. But we're going to make it short because I'm
tired.
Okay, Daquan. Daquan, are you there?
Yo, what up?
What's up, Daquan?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
So,
what's up with y'all?
What have your exes nagged you about? Give it to me.
Nah, I would say probably like the one thing I would tell everybody to watch out for is that whole gaslighting thing where she got you by the balls all the time. Like as far as like you doing something wrong, and she know, okay, I could do that, so I'm always gonna be the victim And he always going to, spend, every day trying to walk on eggshells and stuff. I'm right at the end of the day. It's gaslighting to its finest, And that's not just probably one chick. We probably all done did it before, but, like, oh, I don't like this. Let anything happen, I'm going to have him. Oh, boom, boom, boom. I don't like this. I don't know why I don't talk to you. That's why, I shouldn't talk to you, whatever, I shouldn't talk to you and, all of that. Oh, I don't like that. Well, I'm talking to you and I done gave you so many chances. And it's like she got you by the balls as far as that because, it's just gaslighting to its finest.
Yeah.
You always the victim and you always going to have to work into it. You always going to have to, you always going to have to work towards it. And that's, gaslighting to its fullest when you with somebody,
Yeah, I do. Cool.
Yeah, and that's messed up though, but that's what people do, and people just don't really realize that,
Yeah.
That's not what people do. It's what women do.
I was trying.
Like Pearl said at the beginning of the show, women call men all sorts of names. They call them, abusers and this, that, whatever, everything under the sun. But you never hear women say that men nag them. Ever.
It's such a peaceful life.
Exactly. We don't really gaslight. We probably do, but we try to probably keep the peace or whatever. You got contrarians. Like, the last caller, the one before him was talking about contrarians. Whatever she say is just gonna whatever, and that's just that masculine energy that some females have. So you gotta kind of like back away from that, John. Because it's like, oh, if I say this, you're gonna say this. If I say this, you're gonna say this. What's the point of us talking if we not going? If we not gonna agree? Because if we was getting money together, had a business, a multi-million-dollar business or whatever, if we always not agreeing, then what's going to be the point? And it's going, it's going to be like, what's the point of us talking? So if we're going to be contrarian, what's the point of me talking to you? We could disagree, but not all the time, So when you mix that in with a little bit of gaslighting, it's just a recipe for disaster,
That's how you crash out. Thanks for calling in, Daquan. Call in anytime, okay?
You know the dealio.
All right, see ya.
Guys, don't call into a show or do any kind of TikTok or live while you're driving, please. Don't.
Was he
do
driving?
that.
I can't see the screen.
Yeah, he's driving. Nothing against him. I just, don't put people's lives in danger or your life in danger by doing that.
More importantly, I don't want to be held responsible. So.
I know, right?
All right. Any final thoughts on the topic? I'll give my craziest nag by a woman in my life after.
Yeah, guys, you just don't let a woman nag you. Don't let her don't let her make everything her rules. Just don't do it. Say no. It's that simple. Or you can just not deal with women. Don't live with a woman at all, and you're perfectly fine. And then the thing with
I think that's going to be more of a thing. Men just not living with women and like having kids and stuff, but in like separate apartments.
Yeah. And then the whole thing with NF and Candace. I like when Nick said it. He's like, "Look, I've been doing this since I was 17. Where were you? You got all your stuff together, and now you're out here trying to tell the truth." Or really, like, she didn't really make any real sacrifice. She just went along with whatever she could to get ahead, and now she's trying to virtue signal. So yeah, I thought he handled it pretty well.
It'd be like a girl hopping on the Black Lives Matter, like anti-BLM train now, and then nagging Candace. Because Candace was in on that issue. Okay, well, the worst nag I ever had was one time there was a person that nagged me about putting a guitar in the living room. Like, I wanted to keep my guitar in the living room to play. And this was World War III. Like on a stand, by the way. Yeah. Women, never ends.
Yep.
Oh my God, and it was such a big crash out. Oh my Okay, well, thanks for watching, everybody. Like the video on your way out and subscribe if you can. I'm going to check the GoFundMe really quick. Are there any... Actually, let me put my thing back up. Are there any supers I missed, Doug MPA? I think I got them all.
I think you got them too. The last one was... Oh, there was two.
Okay. Do you see it? Do you want to read them? I don't see them.
So just go to the top thing and you see where it says live chat and just put fan funding.
Oh, wait, here it is. We got a sticker from Roulette Wheel. Call Ice-T for that dude. Brad, what up, Ice-T?
Okay, yeah, that's all of them.
All right, cool, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. Thanks for allowing me to do what I do. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.